Hey, hey, it's Novena Carmel here on school night with GRAE, who has lovely pink hair.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's so special to be here with you.
Absolutely. No, this is awesome. I'm hyped. I'm on adrenaline right now.
Oh, I love that.
Things feel great.
Cool. So we do have some AMAs, which I want to make sure we get into because sometimes I forget to get there because I just get like so interested in our chat, and then I'm like, there's AMAs from the audience as well. So Ohana Kitty, who has been amazing in the chat tonight, I gotta say, shout out to Ohana Kitty for like bringing all the positivity. Is curious about when you're making music. At what point do you think this is the song that people need to hear?
Oh man, I think that when you're creating something, there's a part of you with each song that is like, oh, people need to hear this, you know, because it's like coming from your heart and you just want to get it out there. But I've had a couple songs, like Spinning is one of them and Permanent Maniac, where I was like, this is just really me. It's really GRAE, and that's my music identity is something that I've been searching for a really long time. So I think with my album Whiplash that just came out, like all of those songs were like, I need people to hear this so they understand who I am as an artist. And I think that that's really important, you know, to release things that you feel are true to you and what you want people to perceive you as.
Yeah, big time. Congrats on the album release, by the way, too. That's such a big deal.
Thank you so much.
Get it out in the world. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a crazy process for sure.
Yeah. Well, what was the process like for you?
Well, like I just mentioned, I honestly didn't know who GRAE was for a really long time, and this album really was like therapeutic in a way of just like getting all my emotions out and releasing that energy and kind of finding me as an artist. And yeah, it's just a really like, I don't know, just a really important and special album to me, I think. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Is there any artists that like you come across them and then you're like, I really relate to this artist. Like, this is, I don't know what the term is.
Like inspiration?
Yeah, like I feel like this is like my soul sister or my soul brother or something like that. Have you ever had that with an artist before?
No. I've had that feeling with my producers and my writer. So my producers Connor and Derek and my writer Willa. I feel that like soul connection making music with them. In terms of artists, none that I've like met so far. I have a lot of artists that I love that I haven't met. Yeah. That I like idolize, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember for me, it like when I used to perform and sing, and I like people would be like, this artist is the one that like I feel like I'm like and I emulate and stuff, and I never had that, right?
Well, I think for me, like Robert Smith from The Cure is a huge inspiration to me, and Prince. So Prince is like, I literally have his like thing tattooed on me. I have his symbol like on me and like his tambourine and stuff. And I just like, every time I get on a stage, I'm like, what would Prince do?
That right there. Yeah, I think that's what I'm talking about. What would they do?
Yeah.
And I love that too, that you're thinking about it on stage.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, as a performer, you're inspired by how he's a performer a lot as well, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I obviously want to have like my own things integrated into it. Like, I'm not trying to copy anybody, but there's artists that I'm like, damn, like I'm
like
so inspired. Oh, it's an energy for sure. Absolutely.
And it's cool that you said Prince, because I was actually talking to someone backstage and they said they discovered you when after Prince passed away, you went on YouTube and you were like performing his songs and just kind of breaking down.
Yeah.
And I mean, was that kind of like that happened and that was the first thing you could think of to do to process that emotions?
The day that Prince passed away was one of the worst days of my life.
Yeah.
I loved him so much. He used to have a very tight-knit community on social media where he would actually talk and engage with his fans, and that's how my best friend, who's actually here, she traveled to LA tonight to be with me, and I met. That's how we met, Diana.
Wow.
And when he had passed away, I was lying in the driveway with rain pouring on me, just crying, and my dad was like, "You're gonna get sick, come inside," and I couldn't process it. So the first thing I did, I was like 17 at the time, and the first thing I did was just I posted on the internet, because I was a part of such a tight-knit group of people, and I was like, they're the only ones that will understand. So I posted some YouTube videos that are now deleted because it was really bad. But that was the first thing I knew how to deal with it, you know?
Yeah, and you mentioned your dad. I understand, like, your dad's record collection was a big part of your growing up, right? Like, kind of makes you an old soul. I mean, I was looking at some of the music you're inspired by, and it was like 80s artists, 80s artists, 80s artists, right?
Yeah, I mean, once again, my legs are covered in the band's bands that I love, and it's all because of my
So
dad.
who are some of the bands on your legs?
So I have Pink Floyd, and then I have Pink Floyd again, Michael Jackson, Prince, and then I have David Bowie and The Cure, and I have a bunch more that are probably on the way.
Yeah.
But it's my dad, yeah. After my mom had passed away and such, my dad and I got even closer, and it was just him and I in the house. And my song Spinning is actually about that whole process. And yeah, he would just put on a vinyl every day, and I listened to his music every single day, and I just was like, wow, this is really great. And yeah, I just got very inspired by it.
Yeah, and you mentioned your song Spinning, which is on the album Whiplash,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So what's the title Whiplash all about?
It's basically all of the songs are so back and forth in terms of emotions. So Whiplash really encapsulates that feeling of like loving somebody and then losing them, wanting to forget them, then like wanting them back. It really ties into like the whole idea and theme I have going about relationships. But you know, then you have the random song about my dad in there, and just like like nostalgia and coming of age stuff. So yeah, just like a bunch of emotions that you feel. Yeah.
Nice. Let's get to, there was another AMA up there as well. And if you do have a question for GRAE, there's still time. You can drop it in the chat. Just put #AMA and put your question there, and we can get to it. It's easy breezy. It's the easiest thing you'll do all day. OMF Grant wonders, what's one thing you like in the States that you can't get in Canada?
I haven't been to the States enough to know. I lived in Australia for a year, and I loved their coffee way more than we have here. Yeah.
Flat whites?
Yes, yeah, like things like that. But honestly, LA, like I've never been here. This is my first time, and I just find that the food.
Welcome.
I literally got in at 4 a.m. last night. I know I'm leaving tomorrow morning, so it's very
this
short.
Is too short of
I
an LA
know,
trip. Yeah.
but in LA, the food's just way better. I don't know what it is. The acai bowl I had this morning was amazing. So I wish I could get that in Toronto.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like bread and circus is wondering where you're from, and you just said in
Toronto. Yeah. I grew up in a small town called Elora, Ontario, which probably no one knows about that, but I moved to Toronto. Yeah.
Nice. And you were recently Amazon Music's breakthrough artist, right? What was that like to get that kind of an accolade? Was that like a big deal for you?
Absolutely. I think as an independent artist, like any type of support from like these bigger, like, you know, like Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple, it's really like it warmed my heart a bit, because I was like, wow, they really care. Like they care about the smaller artists that are trying to do things and such, right? And so when I came out with Whiplash, to see, because they have a billboard downtown Toronto, and everyone
That's
came.
crazy.
Yeah, my parents came and everything, and we all saw my face, and we were like, wow, this is so cool. And it was just like
billboard.
Yeah, it was the craziest way to kick off the album, you know? And I felt so grateful. Like that's just how I feel all the time, just extremely grateful. So yeah.
Very, very nice. And you're going to be going on tour, or what's next for you as far as like, are you doing a tour?
So I just did Toronto, Montreal, now I'm in LA, and then tomorrow I'm going to New York. So
cool.
Yeah, so I'm doing that. But in terms of like a tour, a headliner or something, we're working on that.
Did you mention that you're going to be in Texas as well? I feel like you're performing in some.
I was going to do South by Southwest there, but I didn't end up going to that. I didn't end up doing that.
Oh, got
Hopefully
you. Okay.
Next
Year. Yes. And speaking of tours and concerts, do you remember the first concert you went to?
The first concert I went to, I think it was One Direction.
One Direction?
Yeah, but I've been to a lot of concerts. I have some favorites for sure.
Yeah, definitely. There's another AMA that just popped in there from Hitty Cat. Says, how has the experience of performing live with your album been like? See you in New York. Hey, that's so cool. Yes.
Oh my gosh. I think because I had released my debut EP New Girl right before COVID hit, so I didn't have the opportunity to perform. So now that I have the opportunity, I'm just so extremely grateful, like being able to travel and stuff. I've only been here for so short, but we've already done so much stuff in a day, so it's been super fun, and I'm super grateful. And honestly, like, yeah, I think performing the album and having the songs come to life is just like a whole other level.
Right.
Like, it's it's just a whole other level of like adding on to the song and making it something more. And I just love to perform and like have the performance like stick with people. I think that's what I always aim to do, to like elevate the song, you know? I just want the performance to elevate the song.
Yeah, definitely. Make it 3D.
Today I dropped the pick during spinning, and then my fingers are all bleeding because I kept going.
Wow, that's badass.
I just want to elevate the song.
Elevate the song. I mean, you shred too, so and then you literally like shredded your poor little fingers.
I know, my fingers are messy.
Well, thanks for staying committed to the performance for us tonight, especially your first time in LA. GRAE, it's been such a delight having you here.
Well.
Wish you continued success, and make
you.
sure you grab that album Whiplash.
Thank you.